Hey guys, welcome to the Healing Factory. And today I thought it would be pretty cool to make a short video on muscle testing. Now, there is a longer video on muscle testing where you can see where my chiropractor, Dr. Vanessa Shields Fiore, uses muscle testing on me in her practice. Now, how do I use muscle testing? Basically, I use muscle testing as a way to tap into the subconscious, which I basically think is the body's supercomputer, knows everything about you, everything you've ever seen, everything you've ever smelled, every emotion you've ever felt, every word that's ever said to you, whether or not your kidneys are working at 100%, whether or not you're digesting properly, basically everything. Some people call it universal consciousness. I'll just decide to make things easy and let's call it your subconscious or the body's supercomputer. Anyway, I use it in emotion code, my emotion code practice, and I use it as a way of tapping into the subconscious. And then once I'm tapped in, I use a series of yes or no questions. And on a false statement, your muscle will actually go weak. On a positive statement, such as my name is James Latang, it'll feel like my arm is on a brick wall. Now, I would do this on you. So, but the funny thing is, once you figure out how to make this muscle testing work, all of a sudden you realize you can ask other things besides what I ask in the emotion code practice. So I thought it'd be real interesting to find out what other people use muscle testing for besides emotion code and body code and other forms of healing. So I did a little informal poll, and this is pretty neat. So listen to what all these people responded and what they use muscle testing for. Here's Maureen. I use muscle testing for what essential oils to use. I also use muscle testing to see if my kids are telling the truth. I tell them I'm going to muscle test right in front of them. I caught them in a few lies and they come clean. Nicole says, yes, medicines, foods that are best for me, ideal weight, diet, how much water I need. Wanda says, everything. Even when I'm trying to decide if I need to talk to a certain person about a certain matter. And guess what? It's guided me perfectly. Love muscle testing. Here's another one, Cheryl. Which child is lying and which one is telling the truth? Julie says, I have a lot of food sensitivity, so I muscle test for just about everything before I eat it. I also test supplements and dosage amounts. Davika says, decluttering and furniture placement. Also time of birth and what to eat. So, personally, besides emotion code, I use it, for instance, in the gym. I can actually muscle test right there in the gym and find out, for instance, if I've done enough exercise for my biceps or my quads or whatever I'm working on at the time. I also use muscle testing to find out whether I need certain supplements. And guess what? My supplement drawer in the kitchen, I don't know, maybe I have 50 supplements in there that I bought over the years. I muscle test and maybe I need like 2 or 3 of them. It's pretty cool. So what I decided was neat was to go over some basic, simple muscle testing techniques. And maybe if you guys can pick up on this, it's pretty simple. I've always said it before, time and time again. Anyone can do this. So I just want to go over the most basic form of muscle testing and what I feel the most easiest is, and that's called the sway test. So you've seen me do it on videos. The sway test being on a positive statement, your body will sway forward. On a negative statement, the body will sway backwards. So for instance, do I need this particular supplement here? It could be some vitamin, CoQ10, whatever, you pick it. Yes, you're going to get this. No, your body doesn't really need this, Jim. You go backwards. So how do you learn it? Very easy. this is the way I learn it. This is what most people say is the easiest way. The sway test. So you're going to stand still, your feet shoulder width apart, natural stance, kind of center yourself, quiet down your mind, and just notice how you're standing. After a while, you'll find out you're really not standing still at all. You'll find out that your body is constantly making minute adjustments to keep itself upright. You'll find you're making little minor muscle moves to keep yourself either from falling forward or falling back. So now once you've discovered that, now you ask yourself a positive statement. For instance, is my name Jim Latang? Now I'm pretty sensitive to it now, so almost immediately, or even if I think of that question, I'll start to rock forward on a true statement. But when I first started, it would take me about 10 or 15 seconds to get pulled forward. And then it was so amazing, I freaked out a little bit. I thought it was a placebo effect, but after a couple more weeks of practicing, no, your body knows the absolute truth. So here's the way I first started. Standing shoulder width, feet apart. Ask yourself a positive statement. You can also think about love or something really nice. Think about the love of your kids or the love of your wife or whoever. You'll find yourself being pulled forward, almost like I have a string or someone has a string pulling you forward. Now let's think about the opposite. Think about war or murder or death. It's like someone's pushing you away. Your body's like, I don't want any part of that. You can also say yes. Find your body being pulled forward. No. Think of ugly stuff, like sewage. Then think of beautiful stuff. A nice springtime garden. All these kinds of yes and no, positive and negative statements, while you've calmed yourself, while you've stilled yourself, when you realize that your body isn't really standing still, when you think you're standing still, is when you're going to pick up on this. Then it's just a matter of practice. You're going to get used to it. You're going to start trusting yourself. And after that happens, you can do all sorts of neat things. Believe it or not, folks, this is my somewhat newer truck. I love it. I used muscle testing to find out if that was a fair price. Of course, I Googled, but I also was thinking of buying another car, a Kia Stinger. And I told myself I wanted this truck. So anyway, any questions that you may have while you're in the grocery store, figuring out if you need this sort of vegetable versus that, muscle test. If I'm hungry, or if you're hungry, you want a snack. Do you eat an apple? Do you eat a handful of nuts? Do you eat some protein? What? What's the best for you at the time? Muscle test. Do I eat the apple? No. Do I eat the protein? No. Oh, do I eat a handful of nuts? Yes. Do I eat a big handful of nuts? No. A small handful of nuts? Yes. Doggone it, that's all you need. So I hope this works for you guys. It's cool as heck once you learn it. And man, once you learn it, you can take it to so many different places. And God knows I use it for emotion code healing. And you know, the world can use more healers. So thanks. If you have any questions, just email them, jim@thehealingfactory.com. Check out the Healing Factory website, healingfactory.com, and check me out on Facebook. Thanks, guys. Good afternoon.